Well, we began our series 3 weeks ago. Mike Poulin, the 5th seed, beat Jim Grigatis. Then he followed that with a win over Chris Sargent. Now Bruno Defeo stands in the way of a championship match against top seed Bob Betancourt. Mike Poulin ready to bowl as we begin our match here this afternoon. And Mike Poulin's first shot on lane 34 in the pocket, leaving 3 pins to the right. The 6, 9, and 10 still stand for Mike Poulin. And he begins with an almost spare. But almost only counts in horseshoes and something else. $10 for Mike Poulin to start out.
Quite an improvement from his first week when he defeated Jim Grigatis. He had 359 last week, 402 with a 151 last game. Decisive victory over Chris Sargent.
Second box, a 9-pin drop for Mike Poulin. Mike is 44 years old. He's a design consultant and in-ground pool specialist. Works for 2 companies, Custom Pools and Efficient Air Systems in the Seacoast, and he marks in the second frame. And now Bruno Defeo, the 2nd seed from East Boston, Massachusetts. 29 years old. First shot right in the pocket. The 7-pin still stands. $550 in the triple strike jackpot. We're at $30 in our bonus ball contest after every match, which you can participate. Spare for Bruno Defeo to start out. Bruno's a chemical operator for Raffi and Swanson in Wilmington. Married to Dory. And they have 1 child. Kayla Nicole was born this past summer. Puts an 8 inside the spare.
We saw Bruno last November, Dick. He was the number 4 seed, worked his way up to the number 2 spot against Paul Willits, and was defeated 394 to 387 in a very, very close match.
He will miss the spare in the second box. And he'll take a 10 box. 28 through 2 for Bruno Defeo from East Boston. And now Mike Poulin on lane 34 at Lido Lanes. Wonderfully renovated during the off season. They've made a lot of improvements here at Lido Lanes. If you are a bowler, you'll appreciate the changes. Mike Poulin with a good pocket shot and a real good spare opportunity. The 4 and the 7 with wood in front. Mike Morin could make this shot 6 out of 10 times. Two marks in a row for Mike Poulin. Chance for bonus money, $50 for 3 marks in a row, $25 for each mark after that. That's a pocket shot, and that's a $50 shot for Mike Poulin. He had $175 in bonus money in last week's match, in last week's win. A lot of mixing action that time for Mike Poulin. 3 marks in a row, $50 in the bank for Mike Poulin.
And you know, he didn't really miss that first frame spare by very much, the 6, 9, 10. He was a little thin on the 6, left the 10. Could have been 4 in a row for him.
Bruno Defeo leaves a tough shot. The 3 and the 7 still standing.
A little bit of wood. Remains to be seen whether or not it'll be helpful.
Nope, didn't come into play. So Mike Poulin will build an early lead here in this first string. We will take a 10 box for Bruno Defeo. We continue to get great letters, cards and letters from the viewers of Candlepin Stars and Strikes, and we encourage you to write to us. We'd like to know where you are watching our broadcasts every week on WNDS. Bruno with the 4 horsemen on the left side. Mrs. Emma Clough of Winchester sent in a copy of the Winchester News from last December. Right? Winchester, New Hampshire, talks about the introduction of Candlepin bowling in the town of Winchester. It occurred in 1938. when then Governor Francis Murphy, who was born in Winchester, wanted to create a memorial to his mother, Ellen Lambert Murphy. The dream was to create a community center, which was built in 1938. The Ellen Lambert Murphy Memorial, otherwise known as the ELMM Community Center, became the first 2-lane bowling alley, Candlepin Bowling Alley in New Hampshire, which subsequently became a 4-lane bowling establishment and a real center of attention in the town of Winchester.
There was no other Candlepin bowling?
In Winchester, New Hampshire, in the town of Winchester.
Okay, but somewhere else in the state
there was.
Sure.
Looking for 4 marks in a row is Mike Poulin, and another pocket shot.
Out of the gate with 3 marks, hoping to make it 4. And there it is.
Another $25. So not only is he on his way to a very solid first string, he's padding his wallet with some extra cash.
Not to mention the gift certificates he's won the last 2 weeks from the Haverhill Beef Company in Haverhill, adding a little extra incentive for our bowlers, $50 to Haverhill Beef Company for our winner every week. So he's won the last couple. He's up to $100. That'll buy yourself a few nice porterhouse steaks, some marinated chicken breasts.
Will he pick it up? Yes, another spare. That's a nice one for Mike Poulin. 5 marks in a row, and it could very well be 6. You go back to that first frame miss. Another $25, and look at it again as he kicked the wood off the side wall. 5 marks in a row for Mike Poulin, and Bruno Defeo in an early hole here in the first string. Bruno tries to answer. He throws a pocket shot and leaves the 5 and 8 pin. Missed the spare. Tough miss for Bruno.
He's been pinning well, but not doing too well on his spares. Hasn't really left a pin standing yet today.
And a 10 box for Bruno Defeo. You see the lady in the back on the bench with a baby in her arms. That's Bruno's wife, Dory, and she's holding their young baby, Kayla Nicole. Bruno missing the pocket. 4 horsemen. Oh, getting a good break off the side wall. Broke up the 4 horsemen, leaving the 1 and 2 pins. Another makeable spare for Bruno. And he picks the 1 pin right off of it. Tough way to miss, especially when you're up against 5 marks in a row. Here's Bruno taking a 9 box, and we mentioned that Bruno and his wife Dory are in the front row holding on to their brand new baby, Kayla Nicole, born this past summer, 9 pounds 4 ounces. And there's Dory and the baby watching Dad perform here at Leda Lanes. Now Mike Poulin, he is on fire, breaks up the split, puts 9 in the spare. Another spare opportunity for Mike Poulin.
That was a perfect pocket hit for a left-hander, right in the 1-2.
This is another $25 shot for Mike, and he's right on it. Mike Poulin is working on radar here in this first string. 6 marks in the first 7 boxes, a near miss in the first frame. Otherwise, he'd be perfect with marks on his way to a very big first game. Crossing over to the Brooklyn side. Put 7 in the spare. Makeable spare here. There it is.
There it is. Are you keeping track of how much money he's made? I lost track.
Yeah, he's got 50, 100, $150.
150. Our runner-up today gets a check for $250. The winner goes on to face Bob Betancourt, our top seed for the first ladder next week.
Bruno in the pocket, breaks up the split, but leaves a dinner bucket on the right side. Got the 3, 5, 6, and 9. Bruno can't catch a break here in the first string. After a first frame mark, he is open. against marks all the way down.
Well, he's not far off from his mark, but he's not getting any breaks at all. While Mike Poulin cruises with 7 consecutive marks.
Bruno's on the head pin there. That time he'll get the break. Will it go? It will not go. It danced and stayed up. And a piece of wood comes rolling this way. Chris Beauvert will go down and remove it. Unless it goes into the gutter, and it is into the gutter, but it's going to get moved out. We can take a look at that again and watch how close Bruno came. Look at that pin. It actually tripped up a little bit. The edge came off the plate, but came sitting right back down on it. So now Bruno will have to settle for the spare in the 8th frame. He needed it badly. Mike Poulin working on 7 marks in a row. He's at 131 plus a ball in the 8th frame. The lefty from Newington. Punches right through that time. A spread eagle. His first bad fill. He almost cut it enough to get some action on the right side.
He is throwing the ball with confidence, isn't he?
Sure is.
He feels like everything's going to go down every time he throws it. You get into that groove, or as you called it, radar earlier, and you feel like you can do no wrong.
144 with a box to go.
Do I hear some booing? Or are they calling Poulin?
He was open. He's not supposed to be open in that frame.
Tough crowd.
The bonus money streak comes to an end. That time he missed the head pin. One of the rare misses in the first string.
Big danger now is the letdown after having such a nice run of marks. Can happen very easily. The adrenaline subsides and suddenly you find yourself with a 48 half. Certainly not wishing that on Mike, but boy, we see it happen frequently.
And a 10 box to close out, a 154 first string from Mike Poulin. Big start from Mike. Now Bruno Defeo will try to finish as strongly as he can to get as close as he can. And try to stay within shouting distance. On a spare. Breaks up the split, puts 7 in the spare.
Mike Poulin, rather, hoping to be the first bowler in a couple years to rise from the number 5 seed to win a championship ladder. Nobody did it last year, and only once did it happen 2 years ago.
Bruno has 2 spares in a row. He is closing in on some bonus money here. An opportunity for some cash for Bruno Defeo. On the head pin, can't break up the split. And the wood is not, well, I'm not sure as I look out there.
Could be worse, but.
Yeah, you got to get it to fly. Oh, he got it. How about that? $50 in bonus money for Bruno Defeo.
Suddenly he finds
and
himself
he's back in the match.
Roughly 25 pins down with a decent fill here. After the 7 mark in a row barrage for Mike Poulin, Bruno Defeo is going to keep within 2 to 3 marks going into the second game.
He's pumped after that shot. You could see the expression on his face. He'll put 6 in the spare. 127 first string for Bruno Defeo. A 27-pin lead for Mike Poulin as we head to string number 2 of this semifinal match in our first ladder series of the season on Candlepin Stars and Strikes on WNDS TV. Watch this shot. Bruno Defeo will start the second string. He finished the first one with a bit of a rush. 3 marks in a row, $50 in bonus money, and closing the gap to a not insurmountable 27-pin lead with Mike Poulin bowling a 154 in the first string. Here's Bruno to start us off in number 2.
Yeah, it looked pretty grim for Bruno here midway through. the first game, but he made a nice strong finish, and Mike Poulin kind of tailed off at the end to almost cut the deficit in half. It was almost 50 pins at one point that Bruno was behind Mike Poulin.
47 at the halfway point of the string.
So he shaved 20 pins off.
Here's another nice mark for Bruno Defeo. Look at that shot. Great spare for Bruno. He's going to try another run at some bonus money here. Little thin, but not a bad fall. 6 pins to fill the spare. Bruno's a big hockey fan. He loves the Bruins. I was talking to him before we came on, talking about the Bruins' inability to sign Brian Defoe. He's bummed out as we tape this show. The Bruins haven't yet signed Defoe. And he told you, Mike, that had he won the $300 million Powerball jackpot last year, he would have bought the Bruins and solved all their problems.
That's putting your money where your mouth is, I guess.
10 bucks for Bruno, 26 for the first two. And now Mike Poulin. A not too shabby 154 in the first string. He threw that one past the head pin. Mike's also a sports fan. He loves to golf, play racquetball. He coaches basketball, and he plays bridge. Never did learn how to play bridge.
No, me neither. He's got 3 sons. Stephen, 15. Tommy is 13. David is 12. And Mike's been married to Judy for 19 years.
And he starts out with a 10 box.
Second time he's gone left of center. I'm sorry, right of center. Crossing over and missing the 1 pin completely.
Mike won the Leda Lanes Easter Sunday tournament in '97. He led after the first 10 strings this year, but didn't win it. But that's always a popular event here at Leda Lanes.
It's a grueling 20-game format, but Dick, the payoff is certainly worth it for the survivor. $5,000 is the first prize.
A couple of 10 boxes to start out for Mike Poulin.
Bruno has lots of fans in the audience, in addition to his wife and young daughter Kayla Nicole, sitting in the front area where the bowlers sit.
Breaks up the split and has a makeable shot.
He's shaved another 6 pins off the 27-pin deficit that he inherited coming into the second match as we approach the midway point of our 3-game set this afternoon. Game 3 in our 4-game set in the first ladder of a brand new season.
You know, we talk about the Easter tournament here at Leda Lanes. Ooh, he just missed that. Don't know how he missed it, but he missed it. Didn't look like he would. But the Easter tournament will be coming up, and then, of course, your opportunity on future occasions to participate in the roll-offs, and maybe you're in a spot on Candlepin Stars and Strikes on WNDS. I would encourage you to call Ray Simoneau, Sean Howard, or any of the people here at Leda Lanes. They'll be happy to give you all of the information. The phone number is area code 603-889-4884. 603-889-4884 is the number to call for Leda Lanes in Nashua, New Hampshire. You can sign up for future TV roll-offs or the Easter tournament, or find out what's going on here at Leda Lanes and get yourself involved with Candlepin Bowling.
And if you have a youngster, Dick, they run 3 shifts of junior bowling on Saturday, beginning I think at about 9 in the morning and going into the afternoon. Mrs. Belanger and her staff, along with Sean Howard, doing a good job coaching the kids. And even though we're a month into the season, there is still room for your youngster to bowl on any of 3 shifts on Saturday junior bowling here at Leda Lanes.
A 9 box for Bruno Defeo. He's at 45 through 4. Now Mike Poulin steps up to the line, and as they used to say on the old Don Gillis Jim Bridge show on that other station in Boston, Candlepin bowling is fun for all ages. And look at the action that Mike Poulin gets on the back line. Everything but the 10-pin.
Just want to keep it out of the channel here to make it a legal shot.
He will do that. and take a spare. First mark of the second string for Mike Poulin. He put 7 in a row together in string 1 on his way to a 154. Earned himself $150 in bonus money.
Got that nice smooth stroke back that he seemed to lose for a couple of frames when he was missing the head pin, leaving the 3/4 diamond or bucket.
And he'll take it off the rebound. 2 marks in a row now as we go to the break. It'll be Bruno Defeo next to bowl. When we come back to Leda Lanes in Nashua, New Hampshire, it's Candlepin Stars and Strikes on WNBS TV. Bruno Defeo ready to bowl on lane 34 at Leda Lanes. We talked about the renovations that Ray Simino undertook here at Leda Lanes. New seating in behind the bowlers in the bowling area. As Bruno throws a spread eagle, it breaks up the spread eagle, breaks up another one, and now tries to break up the split. New seats in front of us. You're looking at them now. Whole new seating area right where the bowler is situated. A new floor behind the scoring area. Bruno does not make the spare. And just general renovations in the entire physical plant. And they have really done a nice job. $10 for Bruno Defeo. And as we've told you time and again, the fans that come to our taping really, excuse me, get treated well by Ray Simino, Sean Howard, and the entire staff here at Leda Lanes. Bruno in the pocket right there. Leaves the 7-pin. With a piece of wood that may or may not be touching that 7-pin. If it is, it makes it a little easier. He'll take it head on for the mark in the 6th frame for Bruno Defeo, his 2nd mark of the string. And now Mike Poulin with a chance to add to his bonus money total of $150 in this match. He won $175 extra dollars last week.
On his way to a 402 victory over Chris Sargent.
Now that's the 5-pin that's still staring him in the face.
It's a really good sidewall action, Dick. We're getting lots of great action off the sides, sweeping out a lot of those single pins. Not that time, though.
Another $50 for Mike Poulin. $200 in bonus money.
He's making a nice career out of the side money that he's making. Not to mention the gift certificates from Haverhill Beef Company as well, that each winner will take home this year, $50 to our winner each week.
In the pocket.
Did a bit of a dance, but couldn't coax the 6 and the 10 down, so he'll settle for an 8 fill.
Looking for $25 in bonus money. Still standing, the 6 and 10. The 6 continues to wobble, but it's not going anywhere. Four marks in a row for Mike Poulin. He's back in the groove. He had 7 in a row in the first string. That's another $25. He has $225 in bonus money. Bruno Defeo working on a spare. Has to answer those marks. That's a pretty good shot with 7 to fill the spare, and a spare opportunity for Bruno Defeo.
The wood is not real good, however, at about a 45-degree angle off the 4-pin. The 4, the 7, and the 8. Has to hope he can just drive it straight back without a deflection.
Well, he took the deflection and got a lucky break off the wall. 2 marks in a row for Bruno. Trying to stay alive, trying to fend off this mark attack by Mike Poulin. Bruno missing the head pin. 4 horsemen. Now the 3 horsemen. One of the horsemen toppled.
A reasonably easy spare.
Got to hit the head pin. That's the key.
Hit the head pin either to the left or the right, but don't hit it head on.
That's a nice spare, $50 in bonus money.
All right, Bruno's not going away anytime soon.
So he has $100 in bonus money in the match. Mike Poulin works on a spare. On the head pin, and a strike on top of the spare. Put $25 more in the bonus money jackpot for Mike Poulin. Watch the strike for Poulin. 5 marks in a row.
Last game, Dickey had 7 in a row, and he could easily do that again this game.
The 7-pin stands.
Short pin twirling around in front of the 7.
And now the 7 goes off into the deadwood goes off into the gutter, leaving a clean shot at the 7-pin.
With the precision of a surgeon on that shot.
Another $25 into the till. What are you doing for lunch today? How about heading over to the Kahala Chinese Restaurant and Lounge, right next door to Leda Lanes in Nashua, New Hampshire? Try one of the Cantonese specials, Guy Poulin Maine, for instance, for 2. Breaded chicken, beef, shrimp, lobster meat, blended with choice vegetables and mushrooms, sauteed in oyster sauce and served on a bed of lo mein. How's that sound, Michael? Or steak lo mein, prime steak broiled to perfection and nestled on a bed of special lo mein with oyster sauce.
Can I have one of each, please?
A couple of the terrific specialties at the Kahala Chinese Restaurant and Lounge. It's right next door to Leda Lanes in Nashua. So when you're in the Nashua area for shopping or for bowling or just taking a ride, why not try the wonderful luncheon or dinner buffet at the Kahala. The luncheon buffet is served every day, Monday through Saturday, from 11:45 to 2. It's just $5.95 for all you can eat.
That's all?
The dinner buffet is $8.95. That's Thursday from 5 to 8, and Sundays right after Candlepin Stars and Strikes from noon to 8 p.m. Just $8.95 for all you care to eat. Right next door to Leda Lanes, 350 Amherst Street, Route 101A in Nashua, New Hampshire, the Kahala Chinese Restaurant and Lounge.
And the friendliest staff in the world.
So Bruno will finish with a mark.
And his 130-plus game is going to be dwarfed by something probably at least in the 150s for Mike Poulin.
On the head pin, he'll put 8 in the spare. A 134 for Bruno Defeo.
Now, Bruno's having a decent day. He's bowling over his average, but Mike Poulin is just
261 for 2, and he's going to be down a lot.
He's going to be down a lot. He's going to be down 40, 50 pins.
Look at this shot. 5-pin stands.
Well, to quote Mike Poulin when I saw him as he walked in earlier today, quote, "This is my house."
Well, let's see if he can put another $25. He threw it by the 5-pin. The streak ends at 6. A 9-box.
That's the first pin he's left standing today.
42. First pin left standing in this string. That's correct. He's at 142. Already at 296 for 2. Well, he tries to bust up the split. He's got the 1, the 7, and the 8 standing with the wood behind the 1-pin. Cannot make it go. Tossed a piece of deadwood onto the other alley. Haven't seen that happen in a long time. It hopped lanes. He's at 150. $151 for Mike Poulin to go with a first string of 154, a 2-string total of 305, and a 44-pin lead over Bruno Defeo as we head to the final string of this semifinal match in this first ladder series of our 15th season of Candlepin Stars and Strikes. And you're all part of it on WNDS TV. We're back right after this. We would like to hear from you wherever you may be watching Candlepin Stars and Strikes, and you can enter by being a participant in our bonus ball contest. Send your postcards with your name, address, and pick a number 1 through 10, 0 through 10 if you wish. You can send it to Leda Lanes, 340 Amherst Street, Nashua, New Hampshire, 03063. We may pull your name from the bucket after the game when our winning bowler bowls a ball and could match you up. Now we're ready to go with our third string. At Leda Lanes, Mike Poulin with a 44-pin lead over Bruno Defeo. It'll be Poulin, the 5th seed, bowling first here in the third game. He has been red hot. 2 strings over 150. And an uphill climb for Bruno Defeo, the 2nd seed, as Mike Poulin tries to climb the ladder all the way to the top. That one got away from him a little bit.
A winning bowler also today wins $50 from Haverhill Beef Company, home of marinated sirloin tips, marinated boneless chicken breast, sausage, all ready to eat, and hot meals available as well. It's an old-fashioned full-service meat shop. Get your chops and everything else hand-cut the way that you want it. Stop by, say hello to the Terrazzano family, who will be more than happy to take care of you.
Same leave exactly for Mike Poulin in the first 2 boxes. Only this time he comes a little closer to converting. Got a nice note from Ernie Roberts from Spencer, Massachusetts, who sent along an article from a December 20th, 1961 Evening Gazette in Worcester, Massachusetts. And it talks about the Wednesday Night Church League, which bowls at Spencer's Regal Alleys. Claims to be the oldest Candlepin circuit in central New England. Now, I couldn't tell you if Regal Alley still exists in Spencer or not.
And this was 40 years ago.
This is
almost
40 years ago.
Wow.
So an interesting article about some of the personalities, and it talks about one of the high points in the Loop's long history. Must have come in 1939 when Al King, now a resident of Cape Cod, rolled an almost unheard of 432 triple, only 3 pins under the world's record at that time. So you see how scoring has come along over the years.
And more than likely, they were still using wooden pins versus the plastic, which are used just about everywhere today.
Bruno missed an opportunity for a spare, and he'll take a 10 box to start out. He cannot pass on opportunities like that very much longer.
Dick, in your early days in Worcester bowling Candlepins, did you bowl against wood or?
Mostly wood, yeah, as I was a kid, sure. You know, one of the things I was thinking about, and I'm glad you reminded me, I read an article not that long ago, or one of the letters that somebody sent in to me pointed out the fact that there at one time were 20 or 25 bowling houses in Worcester, and I was trying to remember all of the names of them, and I came up with about 10 or 11 that came to mind. But there's a spare for Bruno, and a beauty, too, and a much-needed mark for Bruno Defeo in the 2nd box. After a half Worcester, he converts, and that's a big lift for Bruno Defeo. So if someone knows the names of all of the old bowling establishments in Worcester, I'd like to know what they are. And look at Mike Poulin respond to Bruno's spare with a strike of his own in the 3rd frame. Watch the replay as Mike right on the head pin. Great late action that time for Mike Poulin, and his first mark of the 3rd string. Followed up with another pocket shot and a 5-pin.
1 pin stayed in the gutter on the right side that looked as though it was going to come out and roll across and take out the 5-pin, which it did not, much to Mike's disappointment.
And a mark, 2 in a row. So if someone knows the names of all of the bowling alleys in Worcester.
Back, what, 30, 40 years
ago?
ago?
Yeah, back from the 50s and 60s.
Wow. 25.
I'd like to know what they were. And send them along to WNDS TV, 50 Television Place, Derry, New Hampshire, 03038. Bruno working on a mark.
And there must have been a handful of 10-pin centers, I'm going to guess, as well.
Late in my childhood there were, yeah. And
duck pin, any duck pin
not
in Worcester?
No, not to my knowledge.
Still a couple of
nearest ducks were down in the southeastern part of Massachusetts,
well,
and in Rhode Island.
There's still a couple up, you know, in the greater Boston area.
Bruno with 2 marks in a row. I don't know if there are any 10 pins in Worcester now or not. There The one that I knew of at Lincoln Plaza closed down a long time ago. There was one in Route 9 in Shrewsbury. I'm not sure if that's still going on.
I believe it is.
Here's a strike for Bruno, $50 in bonus money, 3 marks in a row. And we go to the break with both boulders coming back to fill marks, and you're going to watch Bruno Defeo strike again as we come back to Leda Lanes in Nashua, New Hampshire on Candlepin Stars and Strikes on WNDS TV. Mike Poulin will bowl on lane 34 starting out after the break. He has a spare to fill and 2 marks in a row. He's looking for bonus money. Bruno Defeo has $150 in bonus money in this match. Mike Poulin looks for more. He has a bunch already. 50, 75, 100, 150, 200, 250, 275 for Mike Poulin thus far in this match. Now 325.
I'm not sure what the most bonus money is we've ever given away, short of the triple strike pool, but 300 is a very, very high number. And he's certainly in line for more with 3 in a row right now. That will take quite a shot to make it 4. Nasty split. 6, 8, 10.
Now the way he's been throwing, anything can happen. He'll take a shot at it. He gave it a run.
Try to slice it as opposed to banking it. And he's got that kind of accuracy today that was probably the higher percentage shot for him.
He will take a 9 box, and he has 81 through 6. And he's not allowing Bruno to get any closer. Bruno's working on a strike.
And he's working opposite of Mike Poulin, 5th frame spare, but in the 6th frame, Mike Poulin opened. So a couple back-to-back marks now for Bruno will get him a little closer, but still a long way to go.
Now that time he missed the head pin, busted up the split, and still has an opportunity for a spare. He's filling a strike, so he has to hit the head pin. If he hits the head pin, this goes, Michael.
As long as he doesn't hit it too flush.
It's a spare for Bruno, right on the money. 4 marks in a row. Another $25 in bonus money. He has 175. More importantly, an opportunity to get a little closer. Watch it again. Here comes the ball. It hit the wood first and took the head pin. On the head pin. The 5 pin still stands.
Something went sweeping in front of the 5 pin, but couldn't quite clip it. So he's got a clear shot, no wood on the deck, and a routine spare for these caliber professional bowlers.
Had it all the way.
He did? Yeah.
Another $25 for Bruno.
And he's cut the margin down now to 28 pins.
He has $200.
We've given over $500 in bonus money away today.
And Mike Poulin. Well, that's a makeable shot now, especially with the wood sitting the way it is.
He'd like it to roll a little bit further back. He's going to step up to the foot foul line and see if he can't get a better look at it. I don't think it's frozen onto the 5 pin, which adds a little added danger element here, but it's in pretty good shape.
5, 8, and 9, go. An important spare for Mike Poulin because it holds off the charge of Bruno Defeo.
Who's certainly in line for a 400 triple. Mike Poulin will be way over that.
Well, the wood is angled in such a way this time that this shot is makeable.
I think the danger pin here to be missed is the 8 pin. Unless he caps it.
Well, the 10 pin still stands. Virginia Welch of West Townsend, Massachusetts writes in, "Where's the skin show? We really enjoy your Sunday show, but miss the Saturday show." Well, you're not alone. Mrs. Welch, thank you very much for your letter. We appreciate hearing from you. We'd love to hear from everybody out there. Send your cards and letters to Candlepin Stars and Strikes, WNDS TV 50, 50 Television Place, Darien, New Hampshire 03038.
We're going to see Bob Betancourt next week. Been, I think, 2 years since Bob visited us last year at Stars and Strikes. Our top-seeded bowler at $694. Our runner-up today gets $250. And next week, the $1,000 top prize goes to our winner of the first ladder of our 15th season here at WNDS.
8 in the spare for Bruno. Another opportunity for some bonus money. Another $25 shot right here. He missed the head pin.
That hurts.
Hurts in a lot of ways. It cost him 25 bucks, but it also cost him an opportunity to close the gap. He'll have to settle for a 10 box, and 10 boxes won't do it for Bruno. He needs to mark the rest of the way out.
And hope that Mike Poulin doesn't.
He's right on the head pin there, chopped it through. And the wood is in the middle. And you wonder how it's possible to throw a ball down the alley in the middle, hit the head pin, and leave all of those pins spread across. 6 pins still standing. Now the 7 and 10 remain.
And hope is fading from Bruno, who put a pretty good charge in for 5 marks in a row earlier this game.
An 8 box for Bruno. He's at 123. He's picked up 15 pins, but he still trails by 29 with just 2 boxes to go. Mike Poulin tries to close it out now. The wood is favorable here for Mike. This could go. If he hits again, you got to hit that head pin. The head pin this time being the 2. But the 10 still stands. Another 10 box for Mike Poulin. He's only left 1 pin, no, 2 pins standing in the match, in this 3rd string, I should say.
He's going to have one of the higher triples we've had the last couple years.
He's at 423 now. He will be something over 430.
An improvement from each week. 2 weeks ago, 359. 402 last week. 430 plus this week.
Well, he's at 429 right now. And he will close with a 9 box, a 127 3rd string, and a 432 triple for Mike Poulin.
So what's Bruno need here?
A bunch, 48 pins. A couple of strikes. I don't know, you do the math. Well, that's a spare. Well, he needs to strike out.
Yeah,
he needs a double strike and a 9.
30, almost 30, 40 pins. 432 for
He needs
Poulin.
a double strike and a 9.
Yep.
Not going to happen.
But a very respectable 400 triple, which doesn't make him feel too much better. But there are 5 more ladders, and we could see Bruno back again this year.
Another mark for Bruno. He's at 150 plus a ball. He's at 411. He's going to shoot something around a 417, 418 and lose. How often does that happen? Not very often.
Not too often at all. But it happened to Jimmy Grigaitis last year when he lost to Rich Clark 424 to 422.
Puts a 7 in the mark, a 157 3rd string for Bruno Defeo, a 418 triple, and he loses by 14 pins to Mike Poulin's 432. We're back to meet the boulders. when we come back to Leda Lanes in Nashua, New Hampshire, when Candlepin Stars and Strikes continues on WNDS.
We're running a little bit short on time. Bruno Defeo standing right next to me. We'll give Bruno his check for $250. We have $200 in bonus money. Not very often you roll a 418 and lose. That's a tough way to go.
No, I know. He was on his game. You know, I missed a few shots here and there, and it really came back to haunt me in the end there. Came up short, 14 pins. What are you going to do?
Bruno, congratulations. Thanks very much. We'll look forward to seeing you again. Bruno Defeo from East Boston, and now Mike Poulin will bowl a bonus ball, and we'll have our bonus ball contest. We have $30 in the bonus ball jackpot right now, a chance for a viewer at home to win some cash, and let's see what Mike Poulin does. It looks like a 7, and let's see what we can do to pull out a matching postcard.
We got a bucket of 7s in there.
Here we go, but this is not one of them. This is Ruth Higgins from Georgetown, Massachusetts, and she guessed 8. Ruth, we have a consolation prize for you from N&R Trophies of Winchendon, Massachusetts, and we have 10 free strings of bowling here at Leda Lanes to Larry Haley from Medford, Massachusetts. And we have Mike Poulin standing next to us. 359 week 1, 402 last week, 432 this afternoon. What is going on?
Practice.
I guess you're doing something right. Have you found a groove?
I got very comfortable in that third match. Sometimes you'll get a little cold, but I'm staying loose, so let's hope it stays loose for one more match.
One more match to go. We'll see you next week. Mike Poulin, congratulations. He will be rolling for the championship next week as we go to the top of the ladder.
And as Mike Poulin has said, and he's been right, this is my house. Bob Betancourt, who was a second seed twice a couple of years ago, hopes now the top seed is going to be the charm for him his third time in 3 years here.
We have the championship match coming up next time. We'll look forward to seeing you when we come back to Leda Lanes in Nashua, New Hampshire. For Mike Morin and our entire WNDS TV crew, I'm Dick Lutz. Thanks for watching Candlepin Stars and Strikes. We'll see you next time on WNDS TV. So long, everyone.